What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the U-verse? Thanks again for stopping by. Today we're doing another build on the yet-to-be-named Aprilia. She's gorgeous. She just hasn't grabbed a name yet, so we'll see what comes up. But today, she's getting a little bit of jewelry. Today, she is getting some carbon fiber continuous strand from CRG levers. So let's do a little tool disclosure and unboxing, and then we'll get to installing these suckers. This one is the brake lever. Yeah, 140 bucks. Pretty pricey levers. Comes with a lever fitment warning. Awesome CRG sticker. This absolutely work of art lever. God, this thing's gorgeous. Super light. It's not something that can be conveyed in a video. I don't know where my scale is, but I don't think my scale goes light enough for this. This thing's just featherweight. And then it's got your little T adapter. What are these things called? Push rod pivot pin. So, and then after that, we have the clutch. So there's the clutch lever. Same thing, lever fitment warning. Awesome CRG sticker. And this, yet again, another gorgeous piece of artwork. Look at this carbon. God, it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. Tools for this job are pretty simple. We'll need a 4mm Allen key. We'll need a 10mm socket. We'll need a really small freaking Allen key. I'm not sure what size this is. It's like 1.5mm. I don't know. I just found it in a group. A 7mm spanner or a slip joint. And we might need a set of needle nose. That's about it. Let's get on to the installation. Knocking out the easy one first. Make sure it's on a loosey. Get this clutch lever done. Just maintain pressure on the top of this pin. Back the 10mm all the way out. That's why you keep pressure. One thing that I have found that's helpful on this is on this little knob, you just turn it so that they line up. That way you can pull the cable all the way out. Hold on to the cable, break out your new lever, slide that back in. Make sure that this little pin down here goes back behind the rod. Slide in this pin and turn it until it drops down and locks in place. Bolt it tight up again. Just make sure your cable goes back into the slot when you put the lever in, and then put it back to where it was. Good to go. Let's go over to the brakes. Now, removal of the old brake lever is really easy. Locate your pivot pin. Yet again, switch it back to loosey goosey. And then this is where that 4mm comes in up on the top. Once that's backed all the way out, you pull this pin, maintain a little bit of pressure on it, and then your lever will just come out. When you slide the lever out, we want to maintain there's a bushing right here at the pivot point, so just hold that. Now, one thing that I hope you can see, on the factory, I backed this, or I've front seated this adjustment all the way so that the lever comes all the way out, and it gives me access to that little Allen key right there, which is where this little Allen comes in handy. So we can just loosen that. Take our 7mm and back this push rod all the way out, because we will need that on the new levers. Once it's loose, back that out, and then we'll have to remove that Allen key all the way out as well. Oh. Put your finger on the little piston or else it'll just spin. So then we've got that little Allen key. Put the lever aside, and then we'll put this Allen key right back in here. It's got blue Loctite gel on it, so it's usually good for more than one use. Don't fully tighten it down, because then we'll put the new one in here. As you notice, there's a couple little Sharpie marks right there. And I did that because I've already fitted these. And I will show you why that is vitally important here in just 1 second. So we thread that in. It is easiest to do this. Oh, that's way too far in. Right there. And then I will lock it down. Now I've already done this, so I know what the adjustment is. But we'll run through the test. Actually, maybe. Let me show you what happens when it's not properly adjusted. So we'll loosen up that set screw again. Back this off 1 full turn. That's all it takes. Just 1 turn. Tighten that back down. Now for installing this, I usually like to put a little bit of just standard grease. Just use premium wheel bearing grease. And when I say just a little bit, I mean my fingers barely even got any on it, but it just aids in this push rod going in. A little bit of lubrication, you know what I mean? So yeah, really, really thin coat. And then that's going to be inserted. Ew, what's that schmeg? Right in there. Now it might take a couple cycles, because what I do is I'll push it in so that it catches a little, and then try to hold the rubber so that it comes back over the lip on the push rod. What you can also do is have it like this, with these carbon fibers at least, with many aftermarket. Hold on to it, and that way you can get it fully seated. Slide it back in, slide that into position. You can already tell that we're gonna run into a problem. See how that hole doesn't perfectly line up with 0 pressure on it? So in order to get that sucker to line up, I've got to apply some force onto the lever. Now applying that force, even as small as that is going to apply a little bit of pressure into the master cylinder, and I'll show you here in just a second what that causes. Let's put it back together. So with it improperly adjusted, I've got to apply some pressure to drop this pin down and through. Reverse our wrench. I'm not going to put the bolt on here because this is just for showing you what happens if it's not properly adjusted. So we'll just forward seat this a little bit, and then let's go look at the dash. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's see if this does it real quick, or if we've got to actually start it. So we're not showing any brake. You know, if I squeeze just a little bit, I get some brake actuation. Hey look, Aprilia, I found a use for all your gimmicks on your dash. If I start the bike, I'm gonna open up the garage as well, and sometimes this takes a few minutes. See if a little wheel spin will trigger it.
Eventually.
We'll take a test ride around the block and make sure that it's correct. But what I saw the first time that I installed these levers on here was I actually could see the brake application, the brake pressure build up until it actually got to a lockup position. So it would start out at like that without me touching the lever at all. And then it just slowly built, and then it just quickly ramped up to a full lockup position. So that would be really freaking scary if you were out on the streets. So when you install new levers, especially with the new Brembo M50s, from all the research that I've done online, the Brembo M50s are very, very temperamental with how much pressure you apply to the master cylinder. And you got to make sure that the master cylinder has zero pressure applied to it when the brakes are in the off position, because just the smallest amount will actually cause the brakes to lock up. So just to be safe, because I actually like the way that they were before, I don't have to do a test ride on it. I marked where they were. But when you guys install these, make sure that you do a couple very, very short test rides. I mean, like, go down to the end of the block and back. Don't go too far away from where you're at. Carry a rag with you and a slip joint pliers. So what I had to do when it built up like that, in order to release the pressure, I actually had to bleed off the brakes, and just a little crack and then tighten it back down, relieved all the pressure. I could get another, I don't know, 100 yards, and then it built up again and it started to lock up. So I'm going to adjust it back to where it was, and then we will wrap this up. Quick little pointer: when you guys are doing your adjustments here on your push rod, you don't actually have to pull the whole lever off every single time. All we have to do is pull this pin, the pivot pin for the lever. Pull that. Now with these CRGs, as long as you put this push pin up, or this set pin up, you can then unlock it, pull it out a little bit, and you can get to this part here where you can then make adjustments, right? So make half turn adjustments at a time, lock it back down, go out for another test. So on and so forth until you get your position just right, so that then you can go for a ride around the block or a few minutes away, still carrying your slip lock pliers with you and all that fun stuff, just to make sure. You know, do a couple test rides. The last thing you want is for your front brake to lock up while you're doing 80 miles an hour in the canyons going around a corner. Torque that down. And then we'll put the nut on the bottom side and we'll call her good. And there we have the CRG continuous strand Shorty clutch, CRG continuous strand Shorty brake, all installed on my absolutely gorgeous and getting prettier by the day 2018 Aprilia Tuono Factory. So that's gonna do it for today. Thanks again for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way out, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, all that fun shit. And until the next build, I will see you guys out on the street. Keep that shiny side up. I love each and every one of you, and I want you safe. Peace.